Hello everyone and welcome to my F1 23 game settings. So today we're going to show you my camera and wheel settings that I use in F1 23, and hopefully you guys find this video helpful and informative. Down below you're going to have timestamps for each car that you want to go to, basically that is what you're looking for. Before you do though guys, if you're going to enjoy the video and also find it crucially helpful and informative, then please like it and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach 100,000 subs guys this year, so if you want to help me out, please subscribe. And yeah, I'll drop more tips and tricks content as well on the channel for you guys. But yeah, let's get into it. So before jumping into the camera settings, I want to make an observation and also an explanation as to what I've done here. So I want to point out two objectives or two reasons why I'm doing these camera settings. So TV pod offset, this year my objective and my intention with that camera is to basically do content with it. As for the regular TV pod, the objective with that one is for competitive racing. So basically if you see me league racing, I'll be using the TV pod settings. If you see me doing career modes, I'll be using the TV pod offset. So bear that in mind as kind of context for these settings. Now then, in the background you're going to see car by car. I'm going to basically waffle on a little bit and give you guys my thoughts and a few things I noticed and a few things that for me are imperative in camera settings in general. Even if you want to do your own ones and you don't want to use mine, there's a few things that I find are definitive. So every single car has to use -5 mirror angle on the TV pod to have the mirrors aligned correctly. Also, near clip plane should always be on 20 pretty much on every single car in every single camera, because it basically moves the roll hoop back so it doesn't interfere with the camera. Also, camera shake, camera movement, 0. Please, please, please get used to driving without the camera moving. You will get quicker, you will drive better, and you'll be more accurate. That's a little tip I can give you guys, and it will really, really help you out. Also, another tip, if you want to get faster, reducing the field of view gives a less feeling of speed and basically more accuracy when driving. So yeah, those were a few things that I picked up on, but the imperative one for me is camera shake and camera movement. Please get rid of it. Also, for cockpit view, I run every single car default. All I've done was get rid of the halo column, which is a thing that doesn't help with vision. It's just impeding, which isn't ideal. As for cars themselves, I actually like most of them this year. There's a couple I don't like. The Alpine, even with the settings, I can't quite get something that I like. It's just not a nice car to look at for me. Also, the Haas is probably the ugliest car out of the bunch. As for the cars that I really like, I actually surprisingly like the Alphatauri this year. That's a very nice car from both T-cam angles, and I really do like it. Also, I'd probably say the Mercedes is also really nice, and the Red Bull, and to be fair, the McLaren as well. So there's quite a few nice ones this year, and they've done a pretty decent job. One car that I don't quite fully like, and it's also at the end of this kind of camera settings video, is the My Team car. I don't know if it's the chassis shape or what, but I just can't find some settings that make it look good. It looks okay from the TV pod offset, but not the TV pod version. But I can't get something that looks good to me, you know, to what I'm looking for in these kind of camera settings. So yeah, hopefully you guys find these helpful and informative. I'm quite happy, to be fair, to say I've got these quite early on, and I'm actually quite satisfied. I've struggled in other years to get it as good as this, so I'm satisfied with the final product across all cars and both camera angles. And like I said, it's only these two that we're showing off because these are the only two that I use, and the rest of them are all default as I don't use them. Maybe the cockpit view from time to time, but like I said, that's also default with the halo column turned off. You can see here the Alphatauri is really nice, man. I love the little red halo strip. I'm a big fan of it personally. It makes the car look really nice, and it looks extra nice in the night light, to be honest with you. And I've tried to keep the values consistent as well across all of them, you know, in terms of field of view. The Williams also surprisingly looks good. I was genuinely impressed with this car. Really, really nice, and both cameras actually looking pretty sweet. I love the offset version with the kind of increased zoom, because that's a little trick. The TV pod offset, you basically can have the same settings as TV pod, but the camera has some kind of inbuilt increased field of view, so you get a bit more wider scope and you can see more of the car at no expense of having some dodgy settings as a consequence. So yeah, pretty much this is the end of it now with the F1 My Team car, and we're now going to jump into my wheel settings. Now, to be fair, you've heard the praise. This game is the best F1 game of all time in terms of handling. So there's not a lot that needs to be done. There's a few things that I've tweaked. So number one is steering rate, which is a new setting this year. As far as I know, that wasn't in there last year. And basically, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, it basically allows you to have a bit more sensitivity with the steering. So basically I'm doing it to have a bit more sharpness. So basically as soon as you turn the wheel, you're going to get a bit more of a response or a reaction. So it keeps the front end a bit sharper, which I like. And that kind of gradually phases out as you turn the wheel. So yeah, that's for me just something that I like, and I've found that feels quite nice. Secondly is going to be the actual force feedback settings. So not a lot of change here. The main thing is the rumble strip, the off-track effects and the on-track effects. I've actually kept the vibration and force feedback default, and also the wheel damper is default, because David Greco, the person who originally designed this handling, said if you go above 70 on vibration and force feedback setting, you actually lose a little bit of the details in the tarmac and the curbs and the things you feel through the tires, which I can confirm is true. I was on about 85 last week and I put it down to 70, and while it doesn't feel as strong, I do feel more details in the force feedback. As for the wheel rotation, those are my preferences, but 300 degrees rotation is what I run with this game and last game. So both in-game and also on my wheel software from my Thrustmaster, I use 300 degrees rotation. The inbuilt hands in the game is 360, but for me 300 is better. Again, I get a bit more sharpness in initial turning, a bit more responsiveness. And for the supercars, 450 for me is the perfect value, is what I use in Assetto Corsa and other kind of sim racing games like iRacing and stuff. So yeah guys, those are my settings. Hopefully you found them informative, helpful. Give them a go, let me know what you think. Leave a like on the video, sub to the channel if you're new. Like I said in the intro, I'm trying to reach that 100k mark. And yeah guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, a big shout out to the channel members for supporting me. As always, check out the 2 videos at the end, and yeah, hopefully you find those videos enjoyable, and I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Until then guys, take care, and just goodbye from me.